Too tall.
Well, I'm so tall. I can understand why you do. Give me a little height.
Destiny's down here. I think it's going to be trying to do that.
We're just waiting on Chief Malloy to come out. A couple others.
Thank you.
We're waiting for a statement from the DEP about some of the testing that they were doing down there. So good morning again, and I want to thank everybody for being here. As you can see, the amazing support that we have from elected officials, from command staff, and all of our partners in public safety, not just in Abington Township, but at the state level and regional level. But I wanted to introduce, we have Congresswoman Madeline Dean here, longtime resident of Abington and the Glenside community. Commissioner DeBello, thank you for being here. Chief Tom Scott from Jenkintown, Deputy Chief Ed Quinn, and Deputy Chief Chris Porter from the Abington Township Police Department. We have Chris Platts is our fire marshal, and we have Deputy Chief Gerhard from Glenside, Weldon Fire Company, Chief Mike Jones from Abington, and our emergency management coordinator, Tom McEnany. We also are happy to have the Vice President of our board here, Matt Vahey, who represents many of the members of the community who are impacted down there, along with Commissioner Spiegelman and Chair of our Public Safety, Commissioner Lori Schreiber, who is also a county official also. So again, I just wanted to, first of all, thank all of our volunteer firefighters once again. I don't think I can thank them enough. And I know how bitter cold it was last night, and our firefighters were cooperating with our mutual aid group, other fire companies from outside the area that continued the fire suppression efforts all night. Thank God to keep that under control. So what happened yesterday, where at 10:30 we had a change in conditions with the horrible black smoke, and it caused us to, issue the shelter in place, reissue that, the evacuation orders, all of those things. But I'm really happy to report that as of 11 a.m. this morning, we will be lifting the evacuation orders, and people will be allowed back in their homes, and the shelter in place will also be lifted. So that's good news, and that would not be possible without the great work of the folks behind us who are doing all the work, actually. let me see, there's plans later on today to coordinate demolition efforts down there with our firefighters, and that's a difficult undertaking which will require engineers not only from the county but also from SPS and others. I do want to read this statement that was just issued by the Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection, so if you'll indulge me here. Representatives of the Shapiro administration, including PEMA and the DEP, remain on site and are coordinating with the township and county responders. Governor Shapiro has been actively engaged with local authorities and remains in touch with the leaders in Abington Township, including our township manager, Chris Chrisman. DEP has conducted initial samplings of the Tookeny Creek. Low levels of chemicals of concern were found in the creek immediately downstream of the fire. There are no drinking water intakes from the Tookeny Creek area. The DEP will resample the creek later today. Samples taken from the Delaware River did not detect any chemicals of concern. At this time, drinking water supplies are not at risk. Philadelphia Water Department continues to monitor the creek and the river. Air quality monitors have not detected any chemicals of concern in the air. The DEP and the EPA will continue to monitor the air quality. That's all good news, ladies and gentlemen. I wanted to share that with you. As you know, SEPTA traffic has resumed, and also we allowed the opening of Glenside, Jenkintown, and Noble train stations. A couple of things just to quickly update you on the ATF and our Abington Fire Marshal's office will continue this investigation. They remain on scene, exploring what are the issues that, related to why this fire started. One other thing, we have been overwhelmed by the community support for our firefighters, our police officers, members of our community. It's nonstop dropping off food and desserts and cases of water. So on behalf of everybody up here, the township manager, our elected officials, our public safety professionals, not only here but countywide, I just want to thank the members of our community for their generosity. The numbers of pizzas and hoagies and cheesesteaks, it's been good. We're all putting on a few pounds, but we do appreciate that. We were asked, right now we don't see an immediate need from our residents asking for resources, but we do have a website set up. It's called Citizens and Police Together, CAPT. It's a long-standing community group that we've had with the police and the community that will help us identify people, needy families, people who need help within the community. So that's Citizens and Police Together. I'm not sure if we have that. I'll point to the website, but it's Citizens Police Together is the website. We also understand the frustration and that our residents are experiencing, with this ongoing orders to shelter in place, and we appreciate your patience and know that all of these decisions that we make are difficult decisions, but they're based as a result of a multidisciplinary group of leaders in the community and public safety professionals at the county level and federal level, all erring on the side of protecting our citizens. And so that's how we made those decisions. And our citizens here will remain our number one priority. I want to point over to the right here. We have a new website set up. So for our previous communications, our present communications, and our future communications, we are directing our citizens to go to www.abingtonpa.gov/SPS updates. And I want to thank our assistant manager for setting this up. This should streamline communications. And one final thing before I turn this over to Chief Scott from Jenkintown and our fire marshal. I want everyone to take some time to sign up for readymonco.org. That is a website that you can get such valuable information. And I know that we have many elected officials here. We know how important information is, getting it out timely, to our residents, and specifically, in this case, to the Abington, Jenkintown community who have been impacted by this tragedy.
Thank you again. We really appreciate all the support that we've gotten from the community. Most importantly, I want to talk about our law enforcement partners. We initiated a mutual aid response yesterday, not once but twice. Once was because of the immediate impact for the rekindle or reflash of the fire. At that point, we're in the process of trying to protect the community, so that's why we had a large contingent of law enforcement come into the borough to basically shut down traffic flow into the area where we believe the smoke was impacting. That was the reason why that occurred. The second was to deal with the evacuation site last night. We had mutual aid response come in from Montgomery County to help in securing that area, to make sure that those homes were secure throughout the evening into this morning. Obviously, this shelter in place and evacuation was a big impact to our community. We wanted to make sure that we did it right, and we believe with all the information we've received from the EPA, the DEP, and our hazmat teams, we are making the right decision today to lift that shelter in place. Along those same lines, Jenkintown School District has been closed for the last 2 days. We are going to be working to get that building cleared today with the help of EPA and the hazmat team from Delaware County and other county officials to clear the building, to make sure that that building will be able to be inhabited within the near future. We're going to be continuing to monitor the community that was impacted throughout the immediate days and weeks. And obviously, as already been talked about from Chief Malloy, the plan is that this monitoring will not stop in any shape or form for at least weeks or months from now. This is going to be a long-term operation for not only the Abington community, but the Jenkintown community and the Cheltenham Township. All three of those municipalities are impacted because, if you can imagine, all three are within that very close proximity. So the plan is to make sure that we are monitoring around the initial site and also into those three communities. Just to give you a heads up, Jenkintown Borough office had to be closed for the last day. We are open today, and we are there to resume normal operations for the immediate future. But this does not mean that we're not going to be ready if any issues change in the conditions at the site. So we are prepared for that, and we want to make sure that the community knows that this lifting of the shelter in place does not mean that it could not happen again if this incident was to reinitiate a fire or anything like that. But I think with the partnerships that we have here, we are working really hard to make sure that we do this right in how we manage the scene now and then manage it into the future. And I can't thank enough the partnerships from the federal community, the EPA, and the DEP that have been in the command post throughout this operation, along with all the county resources from the hazmat community and also the emergency management community. So we are working forward and moving forward with the intent, as Chief Malloy has already said, to keep this community safe. So I appreciate you coming out this morning. I'm really happy that we announced this lifting of the shelter in place.
So just an update on the investigation. The investigation is still in its infancy right now. We are working with the ATF as well as neighboring fire marshals from the community to evaluate where we begin here. It's a unique case for us. This is not an everyday thing. It's also a large incident. The building is over 600,000 square feet, so it's something that we are going to have to take piece by piece. So right now we are evaluating where to start and where to begin, how to make progress forward. It's going to be a long process. I wish I had some answers, but again, we are very, very much in the infancy phase, and we really don't start our job when it comes down to digging into it and figuring out the nitty-gritty as to where we started until the suppression efforts end. So our suppression crews have been on scene nonstop, crews from Montgomery County, Chester County, Bucks, Delco, all throughout the area, and we are immensely supportive of that. They've been there throughout the entire night, freezing. When I got there this morning, I saw them shivering. It's something that we are extremely appreciative of what they're doing. And just for clarification, throughout the whole incident, SPS has been by our side. They are obviously a community staple in this area. They've been here for decades, I believe over a century, in some form or fashion. So we are extremely supportive. The night of the incident, I reached out to SPS and had a contact on site, my usual contacts, within just a few minutes. And they've been at our command post, they've been with us the whole time and been nothing but supportive. They understand the impact this makes on not only the community, but the residents, the employees, their jobs. And it's been great to work with them as we figure out how to move forward from here. So I wish I had more answers on the investigation side of things, but it's still very, very early on. That's where that stands. So I'll turn it back over to Chief Malloy.
So I think we have some time to entertain some questions. Just to reiterate, when you see the support of our elected officials here at the federal, state, and local level, this is why government works so well, with the investment and the trust that the community puts in us. So I just want to thank everybody again for being here. I don't know, Congresswoman, if you would like to say anything before we answer some questions, but I just wanted to...
Thank you, Chief Malloy. I'm Madeline Dean, Congresswoman for the 4th Congressional District, but I'm also a girl of Glenside. I grew up in Glenside. SPS is a staple, an employer for more than 100 years in this area. My own father-in-law worked there during the World War II effort. Generations of Glenside folks have worked there. So, number one, I'm here to say thank you to the first responders, to the firefighters. Remember, this was, I think, more than 60 fire departments came, largely volunteer. Remember what that means, putting themselves at risk for our health and safety, protection of life, protection of property. So number one, just an extraordinary shout out to the firefighters. To the first responders you see here represented, and of course it's dozens and dozens more. Our community is so doggone proud of everything you have done to protect life and safety. And I'm really pleased to be here because, as the chief said, what matters is that we do this together. First to protect life and to get the 60 people who were working there out of the building, but then to protect property, to minimize the scope of this devastating fire, a total loss apparently of this building. But then the important work going on in terms of health and safety for our residents, air quality, water quality. So I'm pleased to be here as a representative of the federal government, ATF and EPA here as a part of that effort, DEP here on the state, the county is here, and so I'm just delighted to be here. But this is an ongoing, very, very serious situation, and it is our responsibility to work together to make sure that we protect the health, life, property of our citizens. I couldn't be prouder of this group. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Montgomery County Commissioner Tom DeBello, and I too want to just reiterate what Congresswoman Madeline Dean mentioned, is that we've had the support and throughout Montgomery County, throughout the neighboring counties, has been incredible. We've been, the county's been on site since the beginning of this. We will continue to be on site. We have teams here. We have our emergency management team. We have our hazmat teams. We're working very closely with our county, neighboring counties as well. I mean, the support's been incredible. I want to thank all of the volunteers that have been out here fighting this fire. I was out here yesterday. I stopped down there. I even saw, I live in Limerick Township, and I saw our Limerick Township Fire Department was down here helping, and that's just incredible to see that there were 65 plus apparatuses throughout Montgomery County and surrounding counties that were here. And we're going to continue to do, as a county perspective, we're going to continue to do everything we can to be extremely supportive of this very unfortunate situation. But I want to just throw out there that